Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Man Nation Podcast. We're really happy and excited that we're able to be back on the podcast. And today I'm extra excited and grateful that I have my very good friend, colleague, my brother, Joaquin Terrero, joining us on this podcast. He's back on the podcast for the second time. We've had a great time just talking about a number of things. How are you doing, Joaquin?
I'm really great. I'm really happy, really ready to share some value here with you guys.
That's right. That's right. So let's do it. So, hey, we're going to get right into it. You know, we were facing some struggles, some challenges, technical difficulties, if you will, but we're going to get right into it. Joaquin and I had been talking about overcoming fear. And a lot of the times, I think that fear holds us back from doing what our purpose is and what our purpose is for our lives. And it held me back for such a long time. And so, a lot of times, it's the criticism and things that we think are going to happen, but don't really happen. So yeah, and that's what we want to talk to you guys about today.
Definitely, yeah. Really important content, no? Really great expectations we have from you guys. We hope that everything that we're going to share here with you, let's try to take some notes, because when we don't, we just let the time pass. I mean, in 20 minutes, it will just be disappearing. You go back to your normal routine, no?
That's right. That's right. Yeah, and I remember there was a time in my life when I wanted to do something else. I knew that I was unhappy, and maybe I didn't have the goal written down. Maybe I didn't have a vague idea of what I wanted to do, but I knew there was some insatisfaction because I wasn't living out to my full potential, to my full purpose. And I finally came to the realization that fear is what was holding me back this entire time. I was afraid of just a number of things, of what would people say, what if I fail, things like that. But at the end of the day, I realized, and I said, I don't want to live my life and get to the end of my life and regret what I didn't do, right? Because it's proven that most people who reach their 80s, they're in their 80s or 90s, they say, I don't regret the mistakes I've made. I regret the things that I didn't do. And so I don't want to get to the end of my life and have regrets about what didn't I try. I should have tried this. And so, and that's really part of the reason why we started even this podcast here today, that we're doing today, is because we have to overcome those things that are holding us back. And why don't you share a little bit about your experience as well, Joaquin? I know I'm sure you've had your share of experiences throughout life. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, well, when I made finally the crossover from seeing fear as my enemy to see fear as my friend, then I start to see changes. What do I mean by that? Well, you just mentioned some good points. Fear, when you are in this state, normally you are quiet, you are silent, you don't show exactly what is your full potential. You just give a little bit of yourself, and this you see it in every area of your life. So at the end of the day, this is not good, because this creates more criticism from other people. This creates more low expectation from the people around you, from you. They expect way less. You don't have a good credibility. Mm-hmm. When it comes to business, when it comes to setting up a good reputation for you and your social life, these things are really important. So when we let fear do those things with us, it's not nice. So I believe, in my case, when I start seeing fear as something which was part of me, which something is like, it's a warning. When I feel the fear, it's like, okay, Joaquin, this is telling you that this situation that you're going to face requires more from you, requires a better version for yourself. So get ready.
I like it.
Put your feet on the ground and go for it. But fear is not there for me to stop me.
Right.
It's there for me to give me a warning sign. So I be ready. When I see it in that way, then I went.
What an interesting point that you're saying. I hadn't really considered that. But last night, as I was falling asleep, I was telling you earlier, some thoughts were coming to my mind. And what came to my mind is about fear, like what you're saying. It's not to hold you back. You're not looking at it in the negative way. But I thought about it too as well, is that it also shows you that what you're about to face or what you want to do is something important, something of value, It's not just
Exactly.
whatever. You're not just going down the street and going to the store, but it's something that's important to you. What an amazing point.
Exactly. Definitely.
Yeah, and that's, you know, that's what we have to consider when we're facing. And I know depending on where you're at in your life, I was thinking about it last night too, and I said, depending on where you're at in your life, you know, I was at a point where um like now, for example, I write down my goals, so now I have an idea of where I'm going, what steps I need to take. Before that, I didn't know what my goals were. So but I had a vague idea of what I wanted them to look like, but I never wrote them down. I never did anything about that. Before that, I had no idea, even vaguely. I just knew that I was unsatisfied at the level that I was operating at as a man. I knew that I can do better. And so, depending on where you're at, think about that, and because it's so important to write that down, and it helps you overcome that and keep moving forward.
Yeah, because it gives us power, no? The fact that we know exactly what we want, the fact that we are solving for something, that we are going after something, it allows you to see these things coming as a secondary side. You see it small. Why? Because you have something in front of you which, allows you to have the drive and the fuel to continue, and seeing everything besides that really small.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. When I was young, I had that struggle really bad. I was very introvert. I didn't speak up. I stayed quiet most of the time, and I let opportunities pass me by because of fear, because I didn't want to maybe make people upset or mad or say the wrong things. And I see my son now, my 8-year-old son, and sometimes he's afraid of making mistakes. And I tell him, son, you need to make those mistakes and make them fast, because the faster you make those mistakes, the faster you realize, okay, you know, you learn from that and you say, this didn't work, let me try something else. And sometimes we're afraid of making those mistakes, but if we realize that making mistakes is what's going to get us to the next level, hey, let's start making those mistakes now, you know, because we're going to
Exactly.
learn from that. Jordan Peterson
Exactly.
talks about when he's a professor, and he talks about when he tells his students, they're talking about um, an essay or something like that. He says, you know, I tell my students, make a really terrible first draft. They say, a terrible one? Yeah. Write a terrible first draft, because at least that gets you going. That gets you facing that fear that you have of writing that paper. And then from then, you're able to better yourself and improve from there.
Yeah, you touch a really good point. Now that you mention your kids, when we were all at school, we had those situations where the teacher is asking several questions. When deeply, deeply inside of us, we knew the answer. But what we did
Mm.
is, okay, we don't want to raise our hands because we are not that sure.
Yes.
So then it ended up being somebody else who raised a hand, had the answer. The answer is not that strong, and and they still give all the credit. Yeah,
Yes.
that was it. And you're like, damn it, but I knew it.
That still
I
happens to
didn't say
me.
it.
That still happens to
Damn
me
it.
at work, brother.
Hey, it's not a nice feeling. So when you have this repeatedly, one time after another one, that pulls you down, but also
Yes.
gives you power and gives you the hope, because every day you feel a little bit closer to say something. You know?
Yes.
You know how I overcome that? I start asking questions. I said, okay, maybe I don't know the answer, but when I didn't know the answer, I raised a hand and I asked a question. So I put somebody else to speak. But at least I broke the barrier of raising my hand and saying
Ah.
something.
Ah, what a great
When you ask
point.
a question, the chances are really low for somebody not to be agree with your question. It's just a question.
It's
I want
just a
to know
question.
something.
Right, right.
Yeah, it's just a question.
Very
Hey,
good.
with that thing, I broke that barrier.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, that's like taking the first step outside of your comfort zone, because we
Yeah,
get caught up, we get stuck in our minds, in our feelings, and what we think that is going to happen. But what an amazing way to say, just to kind of step out a little bit and just put it out there, and like you said, you broke the barrier, and now it's not as bad. Now it's not as bad. So,
exactly.
yeah. So
Yeah,
whatever you don't want to do or you don't feel like doing, go do that. You know,
Exactly.
I've been experiencing that in my life. There's certain things, because I'm always seeking to grow. I'm always asking God, I want to grow. I want to be a better person, a better man, better husband. Show me in what areas am I maybe getting complacent. And there was an event not too long ago that my wife wanted to attend, and I did not want to go at all, just because of things that have happened in my life, and I didn't. And I said, I'm not going. And then the thought came back into my mind. Hey, how about you? You're asking me. You want to grow. You want to step out. Here's an opportunity. You won't do it unless. I said, you know what? That's right. I need to step out and go do that thing that I don't want to do, because it's gonna help me grow, and it has. It's definitely helped me grow, and man, it's a learning experience. I love to say
Yes.
we're always learning. We never graduate in life. We don't
Exactly.
we don't get a diploma, a certificate, a degree in life and say, okay, I'm done. I'm done learning. That's the wrong mindset. I think we need to be in school every single day,
Yeah,
learning
yeah.
something new, which way we can grow.
Exactly. Because hey, believe me, being in a state of fear, it doesn't feel that nice. It's really uncomfortable, like you said, because you feel powerless, no? And that's a really ugly feeling, and it can lead you to some other stages of emotions, like for example, being bored, being unproductive. When we are in these emotional states, normally we just spend money in things that we don't
Wow.
have to buy. No,
Wow.
we we play the lottery because that's our hope of changing our lives.
Yeah.
Because everything we try, it failed, so
Right.
we don't want to try it again because we are afraid of failing. So
Yes.
let's play the lottery. So one day maybe we get lucky, we have the money, and we change our lives. You know, like we said in the video, like I said in the video that I post recently in my YouTube channel. You can find it by just putting my name, Joaquin Terrero. He talks about giving money to poor people. Like I should give now.
Yes.
I have it, $1 million to a poor community. What do you believe it will happen in less than 6 months? Not to say a year.
Yeah.
That money will disappear.
That's right.
It will disappear.
That's right.
So when we are in these stages of bored, unproductive, we have these things as hope. No, the money is the one that will save me. When we win the lottery, let's do this, or let's bet on something.
Yeah.
This fighter will win, and then I have this kind of money. I will multiply. Hey, those are not the ways exactly that you should be looking for your better life, no? But because you were on fear, you were in this state of mind, and you were producing these kind of results, which is not exactly the real you, no?
Yeah, no, that's amazing, and I'm sure you know about this too. But it probably I know we have a couple of minutes left here, but you've probably seen this, maybe in your field of health and all of that. Is that it probably affects your health as well because you live in this world of fear, of anxiety, of
Yeah,
stress, and it begins to maybe affect your health. You don't feel like exercising, and then you don't eat right. You revert to that comfort food or whatever that is, and it might affect your health as well in just a number of ways because everything we're doing, everything we feel, everything we're feeling every single day, we're emitting that as a like a frequency, and
exactly.
you're emitting that to your body, and it could bring you great health, just like it could bring you bad health.
Yes.
There's a verse, one of my favorite verses that says, "Life and death are in the power of the tongue." You know,
The tongue. There you
so
go.
speak life, or you're gonna speak death. You're gonna feel life. You're gonna bring life to yourself, or you're gonna bring that negativity to yourself. And I think in order to overcome that, we need to focus on. Bringing that positivity, that livelihood, and that's why we do these videos, and that's why, like your channel, what you were just talking about, and that's why I want to encourage everybody, subscribe to our channel. Like Joaquin said at the beginning, take some notes. Send us your feedback, your comments, because this is what's going to help you grow, and continue to grow on your path every day.
Definitely. And like we mentioned in the beginning, no, just like in your case, help you to take the first step for creating this podcast. You have a long-term vision, no? You have
Yes.
your goal, your dream. Okay, you can name it, but that thing is allowing you to go above the fear. When you don't have something this clear, why you should face fear. I
Right.
mean, you stay behind it and you believe that this is you. This is not, I mean, the results that you're having in your life at that moment of fear is just a result of a poor performance from yourself at that time. That
That's right.
doesn't mean that 1 year from there you can change it. You can change it because you still have, like our lovely Les Brown says, you still have greatness within you.
That's right.
No, so don't believe that these bad situations and these bad results and outcomes are a result of you, man. This is not you. This is just a poor performance from you, which is leading to these results. So if you change the habits that you have, if you change the people around you, little by little, you create this new version of yourselves, and then from there you go, man. From there you go.
That's it. That's it. You're creating the new version of yourself to the point where people might not even recognize you. And say,
Definitely,
wow, who
yes.
is this person? Who is this Joaquin? Who is this Danny? I don't recognize him, right? Awesome, man. Awesome. Well, I know we gotta wrap it up. I've been having a great time in this, short 20 minutes. I've been just getting so much out of this content, this conversation that we've been having. So thank you, Joaquin. I know you gotta go. Me too. So, I just want to wish everybody out there that's listening, stay blessed. Uh, keep yourself encouraged and overcome that fear. Like Joaquin said, instead of looking at it as a negative side of it, what is the positive side of it that I can get out of this, and how is it going to help me reach my goal? So,
Exactly, powerful.
amen. Yeah. So thank you, Joaquin. I'm going to let you go, but thank you so much for joining us today. Everybody that's listening, please subscribe to our channel. Check out my friend, my brother, Joaquin Terrero on YouTube. You just look up your name, right? Just Joaquin Terrero,
Definitely,
and that's
yes.
right, and you'll come up, or you could even look us up on Facebook as well. Follow us on Facebook, Joaquin Terrero, or myself, Danny Aguilera. You could also follow Men Nation Podcast as well on Facebook. So we're really grateful that we're able to do this. Thank you so much, everybody. Joaquin, thank you again. It's been a privilege, an honor. I get so excited every time we do stuff like this. I get really excited. It really motivates me, just to continue on our life's work. So
Yes, and to everybody who's listening also, please, when you try to get in contact with us, let us know which kind of topic you consider that maybe we should talk about. Some things that maybe you are struggling, we are not aware of it. So maybe you want to just listen a different point of view that maybe you believe it can help you. Let us know in the comments below or in our social media, Facebook as well as YouTube.
that's right. That's right. And pretty soon, I just got this vision, and I know it's not coincidence or it's not just my thoughts. Pretty soon, we're gonna have Joaquin Terrero over here in Washington, maybe speaking at an event, something where we want to invite the public. We wanna do something bigger. We want to take it to the next level. So I don't know what it is, but I know there's great things, like you said, and there's greatness within you.
It is, man. Amen.
Okay. All right, Joaquin. Well, thank you so much. I'll let you go, and we'll be in touch. Okay.
Thank you very much, man, for the opportunity.
All
Thank you.
right. Blessings to everybody.